Before we get into today's edition of Just the Truth, let me tell you about the latest special from Mike Lindell at MyPillow. The standard MyPillow, normally $49.98 for a limited time only, just $14.88 with promo code Joey. Go to MyPillow.com, click on the radio listener specials, and see all the specials. There's a limited quantity of just 10 at this special price. That's $14.88 with promo code Joey. Thanks for joining me in the PhD Weight Loss Studio. To lose weight for the last time, visit myphdweightloss.com. At last, charges are dropped. President-elect Trump scores a major legal victory as Jack Smith and the Department of Justice ends its case against him. We have the latest details for you. President-elect Trump on Monday said he would issue an executive order upon taking office to charge Mexico and Canada a 25% tariff on all products coming into the United States. Gavin Newsom's already gearing up for the battle with President-elect Trump, this time over green energy policies. And Michael Moore is lashing out at President Joe Biden, accusing him of leading America into World War III. What do you think has gone wrong with this one-time cheerleader of Joe Biden?
I told you we'd be back.
And ye shall know the truth, and the truth shall make you free.
It's Joey Hudson.
I wanted to name it the Joey Hudson bill, but, they don't allow you to put names on bills. But I wanted to call it the Joey Hudson bill because I know that one's been near and dear to you for a number of years.
That's how it's done. Let your voice be heard.
And the truth shall set you free.
Here's Joey Hudson.
Major legal victory for President-elect Donald Trump yesterday, just days after his historic election win. Special counsel Jack Smith has requested to drop the January 6th case against Trump, and a federal judge has agreed. It's the latest chapter in a long, drawn-out legal battle. We'll dive into what this means for the rule of law and Trump's return to the White House. U.S. District Judge Tanya Chutkan granted the government's request to dismiss the superseding indictment against Donald Trump, citing that there's no opposition from his defense team. This decision comes after months of legal back and forth, with Trump pleading not guilty to all charges related to the January 6th investigation and arguing presidential immunity all the way to the Supreme Court. This isn't the only blow to Jack Smith's investigation. Earlier this year, federal Judge Eileen Cannon ruled that Smith was unlawfully appointed as special counsel in the classified records case, forcing the DOJ to drop those charges also. Today's decision effectively ends Smith's case against Trump, and Smith himself is expected to resign before Trump takes office in January. Why? Because he knows Donald Trump will utter those famous words, "You're fired." President-elect Trump didn't hold back, calling the case against him empty and lawless in a fiery post on Truth Social after hearing of the decision. He slammed the Department of Justice for wasting taxpayers' dollars and accused state prosecutors of politicizing the justice system for both personal and political gain, which he's right. This was all about Jack Smith and nothing about what Donald Trump had done wrong. Trump spokesman Stephen Chang called the dismissal a major victory for the rule of law and vowed to end the weaponization of justice under the new Trump administration. This is why the position of Attorney General is so important. There's a lot of work to be done at DOJ. They've been allowed to just run amok for almost 4 years now. The decision reignites the debate over the politicizing of America's justice system. Trump and his allies have long argued that these investigations are nothing but political witch hunts. They're politically motivated efforts to derail his presidential comeback. They hate Donald Trump that much. With Trump back in the Oval Office, you can expect major reforms in just how the Justice Department operates, as it should be. As Smith winds down his investigations, Trump's legal team can now focus on wrapping up remaining cases at the state level. But you need to understand, and make no mistake, this victory sends a clear message. Donald Trump's return to the White House is shaking the political and legal establishment to its core, and the American people are watching closely and enjoying every minute of it. Will Trump's victory mark the beginning of an end to political weaponization of the Department of Justice? Or is this just the start of a larger battle? Your comments are welcome. You can text me. You can email me, joe@joeyhudson.com. Trump on Monday said he would issue an executive order upon taking office to charge Mexico and Canada a 25% tariff on all products coming into the United States. He said this tariff will remain in effect until such time as drugs, in particular fentanyl, and all illegal aliens stop this invasion of our country. He wrote this post on Truth Social yesterday, saying both Mexico and Canada have the absolute right and power to easily solve this long-simmering problem. When he takes office on January 20th, he said thousands of people pouring through Mexico and Canada will be stopped. If not, they're going to pay the tariff. How do you feel about that? Because, you know, if tariffs are invoked, that means products that we get from Mexico and Canada are going to be more expensive. Are you willing to pay the price? Text me, email me, joe@joeyhudson.com. Interesting development yesterday with progressive activist filmmaker Michael Moore. He's making headlines again for an explosive open letter to Joe Biden. In a scathing critique, Moore accused Biden of destroying his legacy, calling him a warmonger who's dragging America into World War III. It's a rebuke from one of the left's most prominent voices and one of Joe Biden's cheerleaders in the past. Moore, who once praised Biden's potential to leave office as a, quote, hero, is now accusing him of doubling down on what he calls Biden's worst impulses. In his Substack post, Moore slams Biden for sending weapons to Ukraine, approving long-range missiles for use against Russia, and allowing anti-personnel mines to be deployed. His words, landmines, Joe, seriously, this is your legacy, in all caps. Moore also took aim at Biden's support for Israel, including weapons sales and the administration's veto of a UN resolution for a ceasefire in Gaza. Moore called the U.S. the only country supporting more death and destruction and questioned if this is how Joe Biden wants to be remembered. The filmmaker did not just criticize. He actually made some demands. Moore urged Biden to use the power of the pen to enact far-left policies, including passing the Equal Rights Amendment to establish a constitutional right to abortion. Moore claims this could be Biden's opportunity to cement a legacy of real and powerful change, but of course the clock is ticking, and Moore is clearly losing patience. Now, what does this dummy think Joe Biden can do? If Joe Biden had the power of the pen, as Michael Moore describes, to pass an equal rights amendment and to establish a constitutional right to abortion, do you not think he would have already done so? It wouldn't have taken a letter from Michael Moore to have encouraged Joe Biden to do that. It's just not possible. The president, yes, he can sign executive orders, and Joe Biden has certainly signed his share. Joe Biden has wreaked havoc with executive orders. But to just establish a constitutional right to abortion with the stroke of a pen, that's not a power that the president possesses. And Joe Biden even knows that. Now, this latest rant from Michael Moore, and Michael Moore is a nut job. We've seen that for years. He loves his documentaries and the attention that he gets, flying around in big jets. But in the end, I'm not sure even the left takes him seriously. But this latest rant really sort of underscores this divide within the Democrat Party. Progressives like Mr. Moore, they want radical policies, and they don't care what the people said in this year's election. In fact, they would argue that we don't really know what we want, that we were mistaken. When I say we, those of us who voted for Donald Trump for another term, and those of us who voted for conservative candidates to take a majority in the U.S. House, or to maintain that, and to gain a majority in the U.S. Senate. Moderates in the Democrat Party have kind of warned against these types of moves. West Virginia Senator Joe Manchin, who's leaving after decades of service. I read an article just the other day where Manchin talked about how he warned his party of going too far to the left, and he wanted no part of it. That's why he ended up leaving the Democrat Party and becoming an independent. His main mistake, though, was continuing to caucus with the Democrats. Let's not forget, Moore loves controversy. And after Kamala Harris's defeat, he lashed out at voters, calling America not a good people, rattling off historical grievances. It's clear Moore is doubling down on his disdain for traditional American policies. Now he's targeting Biden as a major source of his frustration. I hate it for him. I think he needs to eat a lot of turkey on Thanksgiving and kind of settle down. Relax. Your comments are welcome on the Firmin Ford text line, 864-477-JOEY. That's 864-477-5639. Emails always welcome, joey@joeyhudson.com. This year, I really thought I was going to have to boycott the holidays. I was going to lock myself away and not come out until 2025. But after finding PhD weight loss, you can bet I'll be at every holiday party I'm invited to. That's because PhD weight loss helped me take control with great confidence, support, and my new healthy body. The best part, PhD weight loss did it all without harmful drugs that keep you dependent on them to maintain your weight loss. It's a natural, medication-free approach to weight loss crafted to naturally diminish food-related thoughts, hunger, and cravings, making your weight loss journey more sustainable and enjoyable. Take it from me, I lost 33 pounds. The PhD weight loss program teaches you not just what to eat and when, but also how to think differently about food and finally let go of those cravings and get rid of the hunger naturally. Don't lock yourself away this holiday season. Call PhD Weight Loss today at 864-644-1900. That's 864-644-1900, or go to myphdweightloss.com. I keep reading these stories like the Democrat National Committee's backlash because of their loss in November, and not just from voters, but from their own staff. The headline yesterday was that the DNC union, I didn't even realize the Democrat National Committee had a union, but I guess that's par for the course. I guess I shouldn't be surprised that the Democrat National Committee has a union. How crazy is that? Well, the union has launched a GoFundMe campaign to raise $25,000 for workers who were abruptly laid off last week. 2/3 of DNC staffers lost their jobs without severance, sparking outrage among the employees who described the cuts as a betrayal of the party's supposed values. Well, Kamala Harris has spent all the money. What do you expect? When you're on a sinking ship, you're going to go down with the ship. And that's what these workers have experienced. Union organizer Jill Brownfield called these layoffs callous and short-sighted, pointing out that many of those fired had been assured their positions were safe after Election Day. Yeah, well, you believe that? Shame on you for believing your party. A bunch of losers. Call Kamala Harris. See what she has to say about it. The union is now asking for donations to help cover rent, medical expenses, and child care costs for affected staffers, including single parents and expectant workers. Now, I hate for anyone to lose their job. I hate for anyone to be stressed out as to whether or not they're going to be able to pay their rent, be able to pay their child's doctor's visit. But maybe this is indicative of the problem with the Democrats. If these workers, the supposed leaders of the DNC, didn't realize that when Kamala Harris had lost so badly that their job's on the line. The DNC defended the layoffs as part of the natural cycle of political campaigns. Well, of course it is. If you lose, you go home. It's just that simple. It's been like that since the beginning of politics. If you get behind a candidate and you support him or her, they win, then you may have a job. They lose, you better hope that you get paid that last paycheck. As of last night, the GoFundMe campaign had raised $15,000 of the $25,000. Folks, this is just the latest signs of the chaos within the Democrat Party, failing its own people while trying to recover from this massive election defeat. I hate it for them. Also, and this is just the beginning, big news from corporate America. Walmart, the country's largest employer, says that they're dialing back its diversity, equity, and inclusion initiatives, joining a growing list of companies pushing back on woke policies under mounting consumer and activist pressure. Well, surprise, surprise, surprise. I've been telling you about this, haven't I? Companies have finally woke up to the fact that we're sick of woke. Anti-woke activist and filmmaker Robbie Starbuck, who's been leading a campaign against these type policies, announced this week that he had productive conversations with Walmart executives about some of the changes that need to be made. Walmart clarified that these changes were already in progress, but the timing kind of speaks volumes, doesn't it? So here's what's changing. Walmart says it's going to work to remove sexual and transgender products marketed towards children, and is reviewing grants to pride events to ensure they don't promote inappropriate content for kids. Now, my only question is that, and kudos to Walmart for doing that, but how did they ever get led down this path to begin with? Shame on them for ever having had these types of products in their stores. Not the Walmart that I grew up shopping in. Not the family-owned Walmart from, where is it, Bentonville, Arkansas, or wherever. The company has also decided not to extend its racial equity center. It was lost in 2020. No longer uses terms like Latinx or even DEI in official communications, opting instead for the term belonging. I don't even know what that means, actually. Walmart's also ending its participation in the Human Rights Campaign Corporate Equality Index, which is an annual survey that measures LGBTQ policies in the workplace. Thank you, Walmart. I'm sorry you're late to the party, but I'm glad you finally woke up. Robbie Starbuck called this a huge victory, saying, quote, removing wokeness from Walmart sets the tone for corporate America. Walmart, meanwhile, told Fox Business its goal is to foster a sense of belonging while reflecting the diverse needs of all its associates and customers. I think Walmart saw the results of the election and realized that a down-home American-type country needs to protect its down-home Americans that shop there, that spend their hard-earned money there. Folks, again, a major shift, and I've been talking about this for the last couple of weeks since our huge victories. It shows that Americans are standing up against corporate agendas that don't align with our values. Walmart is just the beginning. They're joining companies like Ford, John Deere, and Caterpillar in rethinking these lunatic policies. And I believe, I really do, and maybe I'm a little too optimistic here, and I'd love to get your feedback. You can text me. You can email me, joe@joeyhudson.com. But don't you think this is the beginning of the end of corporate wokeism? Don't you think these companies have realized they went too far, that they allowed these radical groups to hoodwink them into these types of policies, and that they saw the writing on the wall, they saw the results of the election, and they realized America is not ready for that? America hopefully will never be ready for that. I believe we're going to see more of these national companies realize that, hey, we better get back to our basics. We need to stop going out on with these fringe groups and these fringe issues, and just stick with the hardworking middle-class American, and when it comes to Walmart particularly, and companies like John Deere. I mean, John Deere, they sell their tractors to a lot of farmers who don't want this crap. Text me, email me, joey@joeyhudson.com. Your comments are welcome on the Firmin Ford text line, 864-477-JOEY. That's 864-477-5639. Emails always welcome, joey@joeyhudson.com. Speaking of the Firmin Ford text line, it's never been more important to support locally run businesses owned by people who actually live here in the upstate. Let me take a minute to talk with you about our friends at Firmin Ford. If you're looking for a new vehicle, maybe a great pre-owned vehicle, one you can trust, or maybe you're looking to order that special vehicle. Either way, if you want a new one, a brand new one, or a pre-owned that you can trust, the folks at Firmin Ford, they're there to help you. Their name is on the sign because their name is on the line, because every single transaction is important to them. Jim Firmin, Matthew Firmin. They do business the right way. When you stop by, when you give them a call, or maybe when you just send them a quick email, you're always going to have access to a member of the Firmin Ford family. And by the way, they also offer great service, and you're not going to have to wait weeks and weeks to get it done. And you do not have had to purchase your vehicle at Firmin Ford. Doesn't even have to be a Ford. They service all makes and models. Visit my friends at Firmin Ford online at firminford.com, firminford.com. I've been telling you about this ongoing saga in women's volleyball. A judge ruled yesterday that San Jose State transgender volleyball player Blair Fleming can continue competing for the Spartans in the Mountain West Conference tournament. Judge Cato Cruz, he's a Joe Biden appointee, denied a motion from other players in the conference who argued that Fleming's participation violated Title IX and their First Amendment rights. The plaintiffs also wanted to ban Fleming from the tournament and adjust forfeits from teams who refused to play against San Jose State earlier this season. Despite the legal battle, Fleming has been a standout player, ranking third in the conference in average kills per serve and helping the Spartans secure the number 2 seed in the tournament. Now, what that doesn't tell you is the fact that many of those games that put them in the number 2 seed were because the other teams forfeited. They decided they did not want to risk injury by playing, having their females, biological females, playing against a biological male. San Jose State, in a statement, called the ruling a rejection of discrimination in all forms. This is just crazy. How this school, some of their own players, keep in mind, their players on San Jose State's team, teammates of this man parading around as a woman, who have sued their own school. These young ladies are trying to protect their sport. And how this judge can find in favor of a team allowing this young man to play is just crazy to me. Not everyone agrees with the decision, of course. Schools like Boise State, Utah State, Wyoming, and Nevada, they're some of the schools who forfeited their matches against San Jose during the regular season, protesting Mr. Fleming's participation. And again, as I mentioned, those forfeits helped the Spartans climb the rankings. But it's also created tension across the conference. It's a mess out there. I don't even pay attention to women's volleyball. Don't care that much about it. But this is just an outrage, and this is typical of what Joe Biden and Kamala Harris has allowed to happen. Now the controversy is heading into the semifinals, where the Spartans are set to face one of the teams that refused to play them earlier. Will they play? I don't know. It'll be interesting to see. This case just is a highlight of this ongoing national debate about fairness in women's sports and the inclusion of transgender athletes. How these judges can defend this young man playing on this young women's team, I don't know. I just don't get it. We'll continue to follow this story as we have. It's going to be interesting to see if, in fact, these schools decide to play in the in this conference tournament. I can't imagine why they would forfeit games in the regular season and not be willing to stand up and do it again. Although it's unfair to the girls playing on these teams. It's very unfair, but life's not fair. Moving on out to California, Governor Gavin Newsom appears to be gearing up to battle incoming President Donald Trump, this time over his green energy policies. California Governor Newsom is making waves again, promising to fight back President Trump's plan to roll back green energy incentives. Newsom says he'll double down on California's push for electric vehicles if Trump eliminates Biden's $7,500 EV tax credit. But is this just posturing from a governor with a long history of fighting Trump? Is this just another Trump, what's it called? Trump syndrome? Deranging syndrome? Newsom just hates Donald Trump so bad? I mean, by now, Californians have even started to realize that all electric vehicles is not realistic. Governor Newsom announced in a news conference yesterday that California is going to reinstate its own electric vehicle rebate program if Trump follows through on plans to scrap Biden's. Well, I can promise you he's going to scrap that. This $7,500 EV tax credit is gone. Consider it dead. Newsom said that Californians will still get the same incentive to buy zero-emission vehicles, calling it a move to protect clean air and green jobs. The program is funded through a relaunch of Clean Vehicle Rebate Program. It aims to keep California at the forefront of the green energy push. California is one of those, or the only state, that could soon affect nationwide shipping, as the time is running out on even their 18-wheelers being electric. When that happens, when they mandate that and they want to allow a diesel engine 18-wheeler to come to their ports, there's going to be a major disruption in the supply chain on the West Coast. Trump's been very clear about his plans to reverse Biden's green energy agenda. He says that, or sources close to the president, says he's preparing to eliminate the EV tax credit and lift restrictions on oil drilling. He's called Biden's energy policies a disaster for American families. And look, you don't have to argue too strongly there. We all know the cost of gas and what it's done to our economy. The fact that Joe Biden has allowed energy costs to skyrocket has really fueled, pun intended, our inflation problems. Trump's policies are designed to lower costs and boost American energy independence, and that's how we're going to get back. That's how we're going to reclaim our economy. So here's the plan. Governor Newsom says he's going to convene an emergency special session next week to prepare legal strategies against what he's calling future attacks from the Trump administration. It's not new territory for Newsom. He filed over 100 lawsuits against Trump during his first term. And it's clear that Newsom plans to continue his role as the face of resistance to Donald Trump's policies. Let me tell you how you stop this type of thing. He filed 100 lawsuits. I'm going to go out on a limb here and say he probably lost 100. I don't know that to be a fact. But there has to be responsibility taken by the losing party. When a state like California files a lawsuit against the Trump 2.0 administration, and if they lose, they should have to reimburse everyone involved for their legal expenses. Just that simple. That would put a stop to some of these unwarranted lawsuits. Now, critics of Gavin Newsom's, they argue that it's more about politics and practicality, and I agree. He likes to be in the national headlines. He is laying the groundwork now that Kamala Harris is out of the way, and she really is out of the way regardless. You may have heard yesterday she announced that she's going to take a few months off. Yep, no choice of hers, and kind of reevaluate her political future. hinted that she may run for governor of California in 2 years, and that she may be back as a presidential candidate in 4 years. Now, the odds of a failed presidential candidate coming back and winning again, the odds are against her. Donald Trump is the first in a long, long time who defied those odds. But he did, and he did so handily. Kamala Harris, she's not made of that. She doesn't have that capability. So I could help her out a bit and just suggest that maybe Kamala find something else to do outside of politics. Someone suggested maybe she would be a good morning TV talk show host on one of the big TV stations like in Los Angeles. And that would probably work well for her as long as she can sit there and read the teleprompter, because that's about the only thing she's capable of doing. She can read the teleprompter. And as long as no one's asking her a question, she'll be okay. But back to California and Gavin Newsom and his plans to as to whether or not this is politics or if it's practical. California's existing energy policies have led to rolling blackouts. You think our gasoline prices are tough in the Southeast? California has skyrocketing energy prices that are just unbelievable. $5, $6, $7 a gallon gasoline. And a dependence on foreign materials for green technologies. Opponents say that Newsom's latest push will only deepen these challenges and strain taxpayers further. But hey, you know what? It looks like that the people of California, they don't feel strongly enough about it either way, so they're going to let him do it. And it's not just about EVs. It's part of a larger ideological war over the future of American energy that Gavin Newsom's trying to fight. Trump's vision focuses on affordable energy, independence, job creation through domestic production. Gavin Newsom, he's doubling down on climate policies that many say are driving businesses and residents out of California. The clash between these two very much will define the next 4 years of energy policy in America. And let me tell you who I'm betting on. Who do you think I'm going to bet to win that? It's not Gavin Newsom. President Trump's promise to deliver affordable, reliable energy for all Americans, that's what I'm betting on. Whether you're replacing a broken appliance or maybe you're just upgrading, you're totally remodeling the kitchen, when it's time to get those new appliances, when you're ready for them, you don't want to have to wait weeks or even months to get started using them, right? Well, that's not the case when you shop with my friends at Discounted Appliance Warehouse. With over 11,000 square feet and 1,500 appliances at any given time, you can buy today and use today quite often. I'm talking about shopping with my friends at Discounted Appliance Warehouse in Pickens. It's worth the short drive over to Pickens. Jeff, Johnny, Kyle, the whole team over there, they'll take good care of you. They have an award-winning service department, expert installation, extended warranties, and at Discounted Appliance Warehouse, they treat you like family. You're more than just a credit card swipe to all the team over there. Discounted Appliance Warehouse, they're proud to offer Speed Queen, the only washer and dryers with manufacturer's warranties that cover parts and labor. You owe it to yourself if you're looking for a new appliance to head over to Pickens to Discounted Appliance Warehouse online at dawpickens.com. dawpickens.com. Let's get caught up with some text messages on our text line today. Texter writes, "Good day, Joey. First and foremost, I'd like to wish you, your family, and your listeners a very happy and thankful Thanksgiving." You're so right. We have much to be thankful for. The day is not about turkeys, or not only about turkeys and cranberries. Those are just bonuses. As for DEI, that dumb policy should have been done away with the day after it was introduced. It's not all about the white man. While I totally acknowledge and I'm thankful for the contribution of all the races and nationalities in this country, it was a bunch of old white guys that got together and wrote the greatest document ever written, the United States Constitution. It was white guys that found vaccines for polio, smallpox, mumps, measles, rubella. I could go on, but you get the idea. As I mentioned, it's not all on the white guys. This is one world, one country, and the best way to go is to work together and to make make it all better, not look back and point fingers. Be well, Joey. Happy Thanksgiving to you and yours, Dom from Illinois. Thank you, Dom. Appreciate that. Jeff says, I wish the Republican Party would give Trump his cabinet. The American people voted him in, and I hope that they'll vote them out if they try to stop people from serving on Trump's cabinet. Now, I'm a Republican, but they make me so mad the way they fight against themselves or amongst themselves, unlike the Democrats who stick together no matter what. Well, the Democrats there's a little bit of chaos in the Democrat Party now. They're not exactly sticking together as they once did. Ray and Seneca on the MyPillow message line.
Hey, Joey, it's Ray from Seneca. Hadn't talked to you in quite a while. I hear so much chatter now about the money that's missing from the Pentagon's budget. Have people not heard of black money and black projects that the military has been involved in for years? It's not just missing, it's spent, but it's spent on things that we're not supposed to know about. Okay, see you later. Bye.
Thank you, Ray, and your message is welcome as well on the MyPillow message line. 864-477-JOEY, 864-477-5639. Always use promo code JOEY when you go to MyPillow.com and place your order to save the biggest. MyPillow is glad to announce their Christmas extravaganza. It's finally here. Get this season's flannel sheets for as low as $59.98. When you use promo code Joey, they're not going to last long, so get them while you can. The famous My Slippers, they haven't been on sale for over a year now. You can get them for $59.98 rather than the regular $119.98 when you use promo code Joey and call 800-893-4059 or go to MyPillow.com. I love the MyPillow towels. The 6-piece towel sets are back in stock with extremely limited quantities, only $29.98. And with hundreds of MyPillow products, there's something for everyone on your Christmas list. Bathrobes, duvets, quilts, down comforters, and so much more. Go to MyPillow.com or call 800-893-4059 and use promo code Joey. Faye writes on the text line, Joey, actually, Biden and Harris ought to be tried for treason. They took oaths to protect our country, yet Biden gloated over what a good job he did letting the illegals in. Yes, do prosecute for treason. His age is immaterial. Thankful our country is coming back, but we don't need to wait so long for Trump's inauguration. Texter, Joey, great to hear your voice. Trump's team needs to get rolling. Many presidents have used the recess appointment option. It's the Constitution. It's in the Constitution, and it's within the president's power to do so. And I think he probably will if the opportunity arises. Texter says, no more DEI is so right, Joey. I'm sick of these Marxists. Leanne says, hello, Joey, from Nuremberg, Germany. I'm so happy I get Odyssey while on vacation. By the way, first thing we see in Germany is a preacher in front of the church, a priest with a huge Trump won sign. We now know he won in 2020. Hey, and look, just like Leanne did from Germany, you can always listen on the Odyssey app or wherever you listen to your podcast. Just search for Joey Hudson, Just the Truth. Texter says, Joey, I have a niece in Texas who no longer talks to us. She's a Black Lives Matter DEI trans agenda lobbyist. She's so distraught that Scamala lost. Laugh out loud. I hope she gets her heart right. She has 3 kids, and the oldest girl, 18, is identified as a lesbo. Roger. All right, Roger. Appreciate your text as well. Your comments are always welcome on our text line. You can email me, joey@joeyhudson.com. You know, Peg and I are headed up to New York for Thanksgiving. We're going to go see the Macy's Thanksgiving Parade in person. We've never done that before. And as I was looking at the weather forecast from the New York Post, headlines, will the Macy's Thanksgiving Day Parade weather the storm? Evidently, there's a rainy forecast looming over the Big Apple. Just the first time that we have the chance to go see the Macy's Thanksgiving Day Parade in person rather than sitting in the comfort of our home with Jesse and Simon, we decided to go in person, and it's going to rain and maybe even snow. As Thanksgiving approaches, all eyes on New York City. According to the meteorologist, a steady rain is expected throughout much of Thanksgiving Day in New York, which means we're going to have a soggy parade. Winds are predicted to stay below the threshold for grounding the balloons. That's the good news, which means Snoopy, Pinocchio, and Minnie the Mouse and Spider-Man, all those big balloons, looks like they're going to be flying. Temperatures are going to be in the upper mid 40s, so it's not going to be just freezing cold. But still, I would rather have had a nice, warm, sunny day for my first experience of the Macy's Thanksgiving Day Parade. Macy's has confirmed that the parade will go on, rain or shine. And as far as those balloons, and I do hope they'll fly, and it looks like they will, evidently the safety guidelines say that the balloons won't fly if they have sustained winds exceeding 23 miles per hour or gusts that reach 34 miles per hour. The forecast right now show a 10 to 15 mile per hour wind, which would indicate that the balloons will in fact fly. It's going to be a busy time. And look, Peg and I typically don't travel during Thanksgiving. This is a first for us. And when I read these stories about holiday travelers and some of the challenges, it kind of makes me pause. But we're going to head up Wednesday after I finish work on Wednesday. We're going to take in some of the sights in New York. Going to see the Christmas spectacular at Radio City Music Hall. A good friend of mine, his daughter is a dancer, and she's one of the Rockettes. So we're looking forward to seeing her. And we're also going to see Harry Potter on Broadway. A friend of ours, mutual friend of ours, and Mike Gallagher's, has just started playing the role of Harry Potter. So we're going to go over and see Harry Potter and get a backstage tour afterwards and kind of see how some of the stunts are done. So I'm looking forward to that. Maybe I'll bring back some We Love New York City t-shirts. You want a t-shirt? Text me, email me if you want a t-shirt. Maybe I'll bring a couple back and we'll give them away next week. But look, it's going to be fun, and it's going to be a different Thanksgiving. Typically, we are all huddled up around my family, Peg's family. We have all the dogs with us, but Jesse and Simon are going to hang back with their nanny, and they'll be well taken care of for sure. And we're going to venture out and have some fun in the Big Apple. And I'm just hoping that this rain they're talking about, that the weather does stay warm enough that it is just rain and doesn't turn to snow. We'll see. That's it for today's edition of Just the Truth. Thanks for joining me in the PhD Weight Loss Studios. To lose weight for the last time, visit myphdweightloss.com. If you haven't joined my mailing list yet, visit my website, joeyhudson.com. Click on the Connect with Joey button so that you can receive our emails and the most up-to-date news. Also, join me on my YouTube channel. Be sure and like, comment, and subscribe. Just search for Joey Hudson. As always, thanks for spending a few minutes of your day with me. Do me a favor and forward this episode to a few friends. Just click on the share button and send to your contacts. We need to build an army of conservatives to win our country back, and we can do that by continuing to share the truth with our friends and family. Keep those comments coming via the Firmin Ford text line, 864-477-JOEY. Email to joey@joeyhudson.com, and I love your messages on the MyPillow message line. Again, that's 864-477-JOEY, 864-477-5639. Be sure and take advantage of the MyPillow special, just $14.88 on the standard MyPillows when you use promo code Joey. Order online at mypillow.com or call 800-893-4053. We're back again tomorrow and hope you'll plan to join us. Until then, remember, God's got this. He's still in control.